Hi, welcome to another edition of Out and About in Richfield. And today we're going to talk about a program that's been around since 1992, Richfield Rediscovered. And it's a program where you have, let's just say, underdeveloped kind of homes in the community that are bought by the city of Richfield and ultimately put back on the market, and new homes are built, like the one we're standing in front of. But Pam, why don't you talk about who we're going to be talking to today and what's the home we're in front of?
Yes. Well, we are in front of 7408 Sheridan Avenue, and this is a new Richfield Rediscovered home. It looks fantastic. I haven't been inside yet. And we're talking to our two housing specialists at the City of Richfield, Julie Urban and Kate Aitchison. And they are really the two staff people that, if anyone is interested in participating in the program, you would have the most interaction with. They're kind of the experts in the field, if you will. But tell us a little bit specifically about, like, for example, this property that we're standing in front of.
Okay, well, we purchased this property. It was a foreclosed home that needed a lot of work, too much work really to make it worth fixing up. And so we were able to purchase it, and we cleared the house, and then we made the lot available for new construction. So we had a for sale sign on it, and the couple who actually built here live in the neighborhood. They wanted a new home. They didn't want to leave Richfield, and they just love this neighborhood and the community, and they walk by here all the time, saw the for sale sign and said, oh wow, let's call and find out more about the program. So that's what they did, and they hooked up with a builder and made an application for the lot, and here we are.
Here we are, and they're not too far from moving in, I would assume.
Yeah, about a week or two away.
Week or two away. Good for them. That's exciting.
But speaking about the program, I mentioned that it was started around 1992. How many homes have we actually done under the Richfield Rediscovered program since that time?
Well, we're actually closing in on 150.
Wow.
So yeah,
Congratulations.
those include market rate homes like this, and also homes for first-time buyers and things like that, but lots of new homes in the community.
And Julie, they're scattered all over the community, aren't there? I mean, we happen to be on the west side. I know there's a bunch that have been done on the east side and some in the middle of Richfield, but aren't they just all over the place?
They are spread out. We have a map that actually we can show that you can just see that we've been doing them everywhere. Yep.
And so how does the process work? Maybe, Kate, you could walk us through, you know, if I walk by a piece of land that has a for sale sign, and I think our for sale signs do indicate the City of Richfield or Richfield Rediscovered, is that correct?
Yes.
But then what would be the next step, or what are some common questions that you guys get?
Sure. Well, the signs are purple, so if somebody walked by, they would give us a call and we could tell them more details about the lot in terms of the dimensions, the price, you know, the neighborhood, tell them a little bit more about that, and explain the program to them. So we require that people build a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage home on the lot. So that's the first thing we tell them.
Okay.
And then we would kind of explain the process and walk through it with them. It takes a little longer. It adds about a month or two to the process of building a home, so sometimes we need to tell people that right away so that they're not surprised by it. Okay. But yeah, they would talk with us. We usually like to sit down with them at first, and then we'd talk to them about the application process, submitting their fee, teaming up with a builder, and then just kind of work through it from there.
Julie, we kind of built up an inventory of some of these lots when the foreclosure problem hit. We were kind of on the front end of that, weren't we? Looking at picking up properties and kind of land banking them with the idea that someday it was going to turn around, right?
Right, exactly. That's what we did. When I started as a housing specialist 3 or 4 years ago, we were just starting a big push to buy, and we bought foreclosures. We buy small homes, maybe from an estate, somebody who's passed away. Just a whole variety of situations. We've bought them up, and I believe we got up to 17 lots in our inventory. And the first year we had the program all ready to go. We really didn't get very many calls. People just, they weren't all that interested. And so we thought, well, that's okay, because we can wait. The market's going to turn around. And then this year, starting in about March, it just exploded. And we made a slight adjustment to the prices of the lots, which helped. But I also think that people's confidence in the market has turned around. I think that people have a lot of pent-up demand.
I think so.
You know, I think there's a segment of people who really want to be in this community, but they want a new home, and we were able to really get the word out there. And now the builders who've been building know and are spreading the word. And so we just, we're going to have. By next April, May, we should have 9 homes constructed. So
Wow.
No kidding.
Yeah,
That's
so-
great. And how many lots do we have currently available now if somebody was interested?
We still have 10 lots available, and some
Okay.
of those we'll end up doing for maybe first-time buyers, but
Okay.
they're certainly available for anybody to look at.
And
to
how would
build on.
they, and you said we'll put a map up, or is there some information on our website too where people can see the locations of those lots by any chance?
Yep, you can go on the website and see a map, and it will show you where all the open and free lots are for reserving. And then it will also show a couple of the newer lots and where those have been sold. And we update it whenever we get new ones. We have a lot of people calling and saying, do you have new lots? Do you have new lots? And we update the map and the list as soon as we get them. So that's the best way to find out.
And we used to, I remember back in the day, there was a waiting list. I mean, for people who wanted to participate in Richfield Rediscovered, and there was a waiting list to, once a lot opened up and stuff. Is there a waiting list at all right now?
Well, we don't have a waiting list. There are certain builders and buyers who want the big lots, and so they're sitting and waiting for the larger lots. We have a house actually under construction. We can almost hear the construction as we are talking here, just a block away, and that we actually had 2 folks apply within 1 week. And so we had to take a look at both plans. We had a committee take a look and decide which best fit with the neighborhood, which was the best design, sort of the best product for the community. So that was not a waiting list, but certainly there is demand.
Well, that's a couple of points that I wanted to make. One, Kate, you mentioned the kind of home that we're seeing in this program. It's got the 3 bedrooms, at least a couple of baths, right, and 2-car garage. I mean, that's what folks want nowadays in a home. I think a lot of people don't necessarily want the huge yard that some people have in the past have wanted. And the other thing is, I don't think people like to necessarily drive way out into the 3rd or 4th ring suburbs if they can get a new lot and put a new kind of home right here where they're close to work, close to where they shop, and close to downtown, close to the airport, close to everything. I'm sure there's a great savings for those kind of those folks in terms of travel and gas expense. The other thing about it is that we're very careful in this program to match the neighborhood. I know that there have been some things we've seen in the paper in some neighboring communities where people want to put these giant homes up in a neighborhood and it doesn't fit. We don't have that kind of issue going on, do we?
Well, we do have requirements in the program that they need to build something that will blend in with the neighborhood. And what I like to tell people is we don't expect you to build a Rambler to match what may be on your block, but we do expect you to recognize what else is on the block and complement that and respect that. And so we do have some design help actually people can get. They can meet with an architect, and it's a program we actually offer to all folks in the community who might be doing remodeling, and you can meet with an architect for a 2-hour consultation, and you pay $25, and then the Housing and Redevelopment Authority pays the rest of that bill. And the idea is to help people to get more educated about design and think more about those things. Most people don't build a new home more than once, maybe twice, so they aren't necessarily experts, and Kate and I don't necessarily feel like design experts either, and so it's nice to be able to have some professionals to hook them up with.
Well, it's a great program, and I know it's it's been exciting. We've been on the cutting edge of this when it was introduced back in '92, and the fact that it's still going strong. Sure, there's been ebbs and flows with the housing market as such, but the fact that there's a resurgence is really exciting. And I think the city of Richfield, certainly people who live there, who live here in the community, are always excited to see new homes going up. I mean, that's just you get the sense that we're still a vital community.
It is, and it enhances the neighborhood. I know we have maps back in the days when I was doing some research, looking at where we've put in Richfield Rediscovered homes, the how that kind of spreads through the neighborhood about doing upgrades to the existing homes, and the building permits that kind of emanate around that home, and it's just kind of like it kind of ignites the neighborhood in saying, well, look, I mean, there's a new investment in my block. Maybe we should do a little bit on this home, or maybe do something else. So it's been a great program for keeping up the housing stock of our community and actually really upgrading it and keeping it very modern.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
So even though we're heading into the winter months, is this still something, if somebody's interested, they can still start pursuing it, or?
Definitely.
We don't go in hibernation for the winter or anything, right?
No. And I think you'd get an early start on the spring rush too if you wanted to start now.
Oh, good idea.
If somebody's interested, they can find a builder and select a builder that they're interested in, start thinking about those plans, maybe call an architect and do one of the architectural consultations to get more feedback, and just talk to Julie and I and keep us in the loop and let us know what you're interested in and what you want to do.
And that's the last thing I want to kind of reinforce, is that really the people who are participating in the program have a lot of their own initiative on who's going to build their house, who's going to design their house. You know, basically, as long as it meets our guidelines, what's the house going to look like, all those things, right? They just have tons of choices.
There are a lot of choices. We think we hear later in the program from the homeowners of this home, and that's one of the things they point out is you just can't imagine down to the color of the windows,
right.
The decisions you need to make. And it can be a little overwhelming, but I think that, you know, you find a builder you're comfortable with and they can really help you a lot with the process. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Well, I'm excited for these new homeowners and current Richfield residents to be, you know, continue to be. That's fantastic too. And well, hopefully, you know, you've learned a lot about the program, and either you or somebody else that you know, if they're interested in building a new home in Richfield, should certainly get in contact with Julie and Kate and look into the Richfield Rediscovered program.
Great.
Okay, thanks you guys.
All right. Well, again, thanks for joining us and for watching the show. And until we catch you next time out and about in Richfield, take care.
I'm Stacey Haas.
Yep, I'm Nate Haas.
And we are part of the Richfield Rediscovered program, where we were able to build on an empty lot in the city of Richfield. I love the fact that living in Richfield, it's 10 minutes from downtown, it's 10 minutes from the Mall of America, it's 10 minutes from the airport. Everything is just so close and so convenient. And it's a great area. I feel very safe.
And for the city itself, I mean, there's a lot of trees. It's a well-developed area. It's got a lot of good growth in it, which I like that in a suburban area. A lot of good families that live here. It's a good neighborhood. It's a good people here, so I kind of like that too. How we found out about the Richfield Rediscovered program was through basically living in this neighborhood and seeing the empty lots that were available and finding the ones that we liked and kind of keeping an eye on them. And then we started to really like this one. Then we found out somebody was asking questions about this one, so then we jumped on it and got it as fast as we could.
We have a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, oversized 2-car garage, just under 2,000 finished square feet with an unfinished basement for finishment later, of which we'll be able to put a 4th bedroom in. Main level is just the kitchen and a great room for our living, and then a library that we're going to have in the front.
Just being able to kind of choose what we wanted to do with the building was nice, you know. Being able to do that from the ground up, pick exactly what we wanted, it was good.
Never thought we'd be able to actually build a house that we wanted in this neighborhood, since we wanted to stay here being so close to work and everything else.
Yeah.
Never thought it was going to be a possibility. So when I figured out what the lot was, with the sign of the Richfield Rediscovered program, when that showed up, I was very excited.